This movie is not even out yet and everyone hates it.
I literally hate the movie. I think it's absolute garbage.
Are you talking about something else?
No, I'm talking about Snow White. The funny thing is, I only watched like 2 minutes of the cartoon 20 years ago, and I ended up taking a hammer and breaking my TV because I thought it was so awful.
So does she have a love interest in this movie?
Hell no! This is in 1937, and we're not in a Taylor Swift love song. There is no love story. She's an independent female lead. She ends up joining a pyramid scheme, and she becomes the world's biggest girl boss.
I'm Snow White, and I'm not some weak little princess. I'm a boss babe, and I'm here to overthrow
the evil queen?
The patriarchy, actually.
But Queen Grimhilda is a wicked witch.
Okay, that's offensive. Okay, those are rumors spread by insecure, toxic little men.
But she hired her huntsman to unalive you.
Iconic. She woke up today and chose violence. I love it.
Hello everyone, if you are a new viewer, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, fourth, fifth time watching one of my videos and you are not yet subscribed, we already go together. Make it official and wife me up, hit that subscribe button. But today, we are going to be talking about Snow White and the 7 politically correct vagabonds.
Bruh.
And when I was doing a little bit of research about this movie, I came across this very clickbait article that insinuated that The Rock had been added to the cast to make this movie a little bit more palatable.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
To the best of my knowledge, The Rock is not in the movie, and the movie has not been canceled. It has been delayed, however, but there's a very big chance, dare I say guarantee, that this movie is going to be a big financial flop for Disney. And I think that there are some mistakes that Disney and other movie studios have been making lately when it comes to their films. And those are the things that I want to discuss in this video today. So the first thing that I want to discuss is a very prominent criticism of this movie, and was a prominent criticism of Disney's last live action movie, which was The Little Mermaid, and that is race swapping. Honestly, I think they need to stop calling these movies live action remakes, and they should start calling them live action reimaginings. Perhaps if they marketed these movies this way, people would be a little bit less pissed off when they change major plot points and change the physical appearance of the characters. When you first hear that Disney is doing a live action remake of a movie that you loved in childhood, you get excited to see a verbatim retelling of that movie with cool CGI, accurate set pieces, and real-life actors who resemble the characters. And Disney knows this. That's why at Disneyland, they hire people who actually look like the characters to wear the costumes, because that's what fans expect to see, a real-life depiction of their favorite cartoon characters. And when you add in the fact that many of these characters are based off of old European fairy tales, like in the case of Snow White, which is based off of an old German fairy tale, many fans are unhappy to see the characters stripped of their heritage. And let's be honest, this is something that Disney would never do with characters like Princess Tiana, Pocahontas, Jasmine, Mulan, and we know why. And what makes race swaps more annoying is that they often don't serve an actual purpose for the narrative of the story. It is usually just done because diversity.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
I think the word diversity is wrong. I think that the idea of diversification of the screen is not quite right, because it's actually confusing everyone. And what's happening is we're mistaking that for we have to include a person from every single race and every single background and every single part of the human experience in every show or everything that we make. That's not reality, and it's not authentic. I never grew up with a group of friends where there was someone who represented every ethnic group in my group of friends. I don't want to see one token Polynesian character in your show, okay? That's just weird.
You know, and I think it's a fallacy that audiences can only relate to characters that are the same race or ethnicity as them. Growing up, one of my favorite Disney movies was Mulan. And in case you can't tell, I'm not Asian.
Are you shocked?
The movie Mulan had such a great message about bravery, being your authentic self, resilience, and those are great messages for children of any age or ethnicity to learn. And the inclusion of Asian culture was the cherry on top. Even though I am not Asian, I enjoyed these aspects of the movie. Honestly, Hollywood needs to stop focusing on checking off diversity boxes and actually focus on making quality stuff. And let's be honest, while people are on the internet fighting about whether or not it is racist to want Snow White to be played by a white person, Disney is no woke savior. Disney has a long history of removing black people from their movie posters to appease foreign markets. The second biggest mistake that Hollywood has made and continues to make is embracing cancel culture. Once upon a time, cancel culture was a social weapon that was used to discourage bad and sometimes criminal behavior, and Hollywood really spearheaded this movement. But as cancel culture has continued to flourish, the bar for what is considered cancelable has continued to get lower and lower, and it has now escalated into a mob mentality where if even one person finds something offensive, no matter how trivial that one thing is, it warrants canceling. Wrongthink, unpopular opinions, or simply being unlikable is a social death sentence with real-life consequences. And just look at Snow White and the Seven Vagabonds. Movie roles for actors with dwarfism are few and far between, and it seems like most of them go to Peter Dinklage anyway. But considering that there are 7 dwarves in this movie would have been a great opportunity for 7 actors who have dwarfism to finally take a role away from Peter Dinklage and actually get an opportunity in a major Hollywood film. But Peter Dinklage ruined it by invoking cancel culture ideology.
There's a lot of hypocrisy going on, I gotta say, from being somebody who's a little bit unique, front row seat to some...
Really? Like what? Like what do you see?
Well, it's really progressive to cast literally no offense to anything, but I was a little taken back by the they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
And 7 Dwarfs.
Sure.
So, take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause?
So of course, Disney does not want to be offensive and they don't want to be canceled. So instead of having 7 dwarves, they have 7 magical creatures, one of which is played by an actor with dwarfism, and the rest are just a diverse group of normally heighted people.
What the hell?
Wee Man, who is a stunt performer and a TV personality, and also a little person, shared his thoughts on this whole situation.
I know Peter Dinklage, criticized the film for having little people play dwarves because he said it typecast them.
It totally does.
It does? Okay.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, people are saying it, like what you said, it's taking jobs away. So, how are you feeling about that?
I personally, it's not affecting me personally. That's why I didn't speak out about it. I'm surprised TMZ's coming to me with this. It's awesome, though. I love TMZ. But I do think that this is Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Why are you hiring Snow White and the 7 average people? Mm-hmm. So if that's what they want to do, then I guess they're going to have a lot of people angry at them.
And the irony of the situation is that despite Disney's best efforts to make this movie diverse and cancel-proof, this movie is getting canceled all over social media anyways.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But in all seriousness, my only point is the irony of the situation. Because cancel culture was pushed by Hollywood in an attempt to pander to audiences while creating the illusion of moral superiority and while making a profit at the same time. And now cancel culture is the thing that is now destroying Hollywood's profits. I think the only way forward is for Hollywood to stop pandering to the woke mob, which is often comprised of a loud minority anyways. And Netflix is a great example. When there were calls for Netflix to remove Dave Chappelle's comedy special over a joke he made about the trans community, they stood behind Dave Chappelle and didn't remove it. Furthermore, Dave Chappelle didn't apologize, and I think the fact that he didn't apologize earned him even more respect from his fans. Oftentimes, the people calling for something to be canceled are the people who would have never watched or supported it anyways. So I think it's time that Hollywood finally accepts that you can't please everyone and they finally stop giving in to cancel culture. The third mistake that Hollywood keeps making is removing the romance from stories where the thing that made audiences interested in the first place was the romance.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
You don't have to be a sarcastic bitch about it, okay?
If the new Snow White doesn't feature a love story, what is the purpose of making a new Snow White? Why not just make a different movie altogether? One of the main plot points in the movie is that the prince falls in love with her because of her beauty and her kind nature, and he saves her with true love's first kiss. Disney princess movies and rom-coms are successful because women and young girls enjoy watching movies about romance.
You're right, it's no longer 1937. And you know what else women no longer have to do? Choose between a career or love. We can have both. Y'all fall into this trap every time, where if a woman chooses love, y'all shit on her relentlessly. But if she chooses a career, she a great feminist icon. And then you make us choose, because nobody can have both. Except for males. Like in superhero movies, when they have a love interest, they get to save the day, have their career, and save the girl. Some even have 2 careers and 2 girls they're juggling. So why can't we have that? Also, I love how they act like this is something new when Snow White and the Huntsman and Mirror Mirror both involve like Snow White becoming more of her own savior, and she gets true love. Ain't that crazy? Like, they act as if this is undoable, but two remakes have been made that do both. But also, if you're taking out the whole true love aspect, is it Snow White then? I raise you that. 'Cause that true love's kiss was the first time we ever really saw that in a film. And if it is in the film, like the true love's kiss, why would her dreaming about love be a bad thing? I'm confused. Because you could just rework the true love's kiss if you feel like her being saved by the prince is like an old trope that's been done too many times. Fine. Mirror Mirror had Snow White give the true love's kiss, and it worked. Also, why is it so bad if she dreams of love? Like, I'm sorry to go back to that, but like, we do realize Snow White is a young girl, right? She's been working as a scullery maid for years. Her parents have both died, the only 2 people who ever loved her, and her stepmom hates her guts. Maybe she dreams of true love because she doesn't remember what it's like to be loved, and she would like that in her life. And some may argue, well, girls can dream about more than that in those bad types of situations, and I argue, sure they can. Go watch Annie, that's a perfect example. But here, she's gonna dream about love to get her through the hard times. Besides all that, I'm still gonna give the movie a chance, but I am disappointed in this narrative being pushed.
Having love as a plot device is not inherently bad. One of my favorite movies was Mulan, and Mulan has a love interest in the movie. And that love interest is what made the story more compelling, because at the same time when she is developing a crush on one of the other soldiers, she has to hide her feelings for this soldier because she is impersonating her father. It was interesting. But why is it now seen as anti-feminist for a female lead character to have a love interest while also being strong and powerful? Isn't the point of feminism that women have the right to choose? Like, why can't we have both? And speaking of feminism, I'm curious to know what the storyline is going to be in the new Snow White, because in the original Snow White, the stepmother was jealous of Snow White's good looks, and that was her whole motivation for wanting to kill Snow White in the first place. You know, that's not very girl bossy or hashtag feminist to be so petty.
Women.
The last thing that I want to discuss is this unoriginality problem that Hollywood seems to have. They keep making the same shit over and over and over and over again. Snow White has been told so many times. There is, of course, the Snow White that was made in 1937 by Disney. There's also Mirror Mirror, Grimm's Snow White and the Huntsman Winter's War, Snow White, the Fairest of Them All, Sydney White, the 1987 version of Snow White, and Snow White was even adapted into an adult film called Snow White and the Seven Perverts. Sorry. I don't know why I think that's so funny. The point is, this story has been told enough times. Stop it. Audiences are growing tired of reboots and remakes. And that is why movies like Oppenheimer, Super Mario, and Barbie outperformed movies like Indiana Jones, Transformers Rise of the Beast, and Ant-Man Quantumania. Look, say what you want about Super Mario and Barbie, but at least they were something fun and different. And thanks to the success of Barbie, Mattel is going to take a page from Disney's playbook and turn all of their intellectual properties into movies until audiences no longer care and they start losing money. Mattel is reportedly making a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, a Hot Wheels movie, a Barney movie that is targeted towards adults. I don't know how. And it's going to be directed by Daniel Kaluuya. I don't know why. And there is also talks about making an Uno movie. I understand that when a movie is successful, movie makers want to capitalize off of that by making sequels, trilogies, cinematic universes, all of that stuff. But they always tend to overdo it. Like, they continue doing it until audiences no longer care and they start losing money.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
And I think most often the reason a movie is successful is because of its novelty and uniqueness. And the more that movie studios continue to reboot franchises, is the less novel and unique they are. And quite honestly, they often don't do it to tell compelling stories. They simply do it for profit, and it shows in the script writing. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and let me know, would you watch a Barney movie that was targeted towards an adult audience? If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you are not yet subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can find me at NissCee.Social on Instagram. All of my links will be in the description box down below. And if you like this video and you would like to see 2 more like it, I have 2 more videos for you in the end cards. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you to all my patrons who are supporting me on Patreon. Take care, everyone. Bye.